Well, any cool off we enjoyed from our not so crashy the cold front yesterday is about to go bye bye. Will we have any rain from the tropics this weekend? Let's talk about it in this Hump Day edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Hey, good morning. It's Wednesday, the 2nd of October, 2024. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Bully in Chief David Reimer. I'll give you a hint. It's going to be dry for a while across at least 90% of the state. And honestly, we're going to have issues with flash drought pretty darn quick here if that keeps up, and it looks like it will for a while. Let's get over to the high-rise rapid refresh model for today, tonight into Thursday. And guess what? Might see a couple of isolated showers move onshore from the Gulf of Mexico along the lower Texas Gulf Coast, Rio Grande Valley this afternoon, this evening. Maybe a couple of very light showers tomorrow afternoon, central Texas, the Brazos Valley. Wouldn't be shocked if all that evaporates before it reaches the ground as precipitation. But alas, that's about the only hope we've got in the next couple of days. Otherwise, severe clear across the state of Texas with light southeasterly winds returning. But you can see out in the Gulf of Mexico increasing convection. Showers and thunderstorms in association with tropical moisture. Let's just head on over the tropics. Take a look at what we've got going on this morning. We've got Hurricane Kirk out over the open Atlantic. That's going to become a large, powerful hurricane over the coming days. No threat to land or us in any way, shape, or form. We've got Invest 91L. That is out over the open Atlantic. That is likely to become Leslie over the coming days and probably a hurricane just like Kirk. Also not our problem. In the Pacific, we've got Tropical Depression 11. That's going to bring rain to Mexico in areas that don't need any more rain after multiple hurricanes last month. And then Invest 97E. That's likely to become another tropical cyclone in the eastern Pacific Basin as we continue through the week. But what about that orange in the Gulf of Mexico? You may not be able to see it on this color scale, but yes, a medium possibility of tropical mischief developing in the Gulf of Mexico this weekend, early next week, from the Bay of Campeche down to the Yucatan Peninsula up into the western central portions of the Gulf of Mexico. Well, let me go ahead and first off, forget what I was trying to say. Second off, try to think of an educated, super technical word to make me sound smarter. Let me make your fears go away. Yeah, that's about as technical as I could get. That's not going to be an issue for us. And the way it looks right now, conditions are going to not favor this to become a super spooky, spaghetti-o hurricane. Of course, that doesn't really change the fact it's going to rain for someone too much again, but the way it looks now, this is going to pull a Francine or Helene. It may try to pull Francine, make it into the western Gulf, and then get turned way northeast and probably head towards the northern or eastern portions of the Gulf Coast next week as probably a lower end tropical cyclone. It may still get a name, and if it does, it'll be Milton, but at this point, that looks like a rainmaker. But perhaps we'll get some moisture from that, and maybe we'll see some rain chances. We'll talk about it in just a moment. Fire weather outlook from the Texas A&M Forest Service the next few days. Generally looking at high fire danger today and tomorrow. The Panhandle, West Texas, down to the Permian Basin, the Concho Valley. That danger expands a bit back into the Trans-Pecos, Borderland, Big Bend region, and parts of Central Texas on Friday. Fire danger overall right now, low to moderate to locally high, but given the warm weather expected over the next week at least, and really no rain for a vast majority of the state, we are going to quickly see flash drought develop. And that will result in a pretty quick uptick in fire issues if it continues with these above average temperatures into mid-October. All right, let's take a look at the longer range global forecast system. This is the longer range American weather model taking us into the weekend. You can see this does try to bring at least maybe isolated showers to portions of the Texas Gulf Coast this weekend into early next week. As we dealt with Francine, heaviest rain chances going to stay off the coast in the Gulf of Mexico probably, but those of you on the immediate Texas Gulf Coast, especially the lower Rio Grande Valley, lower Texas Gulf Coast up towards the coastal bend, maybe the upper Texas coast, Golden Triangle, southeast Texas, At times this week and next week, depending on just how far west that tropical blob gets, we may see increased rain chances. And that, again, would mainly be this weekend and next week. You can see this model has a few blobs of precipitation trying to make it towards Brownsville at times. But again, clearly here, the rest of the state stays dry. And frankly, we are hard-pressed to find any indications that's going to change for at least the next 7 to 10 days. It'll change at some point, but this is going to be an extended period of dry and relatively warm weather, it looks like, as we have essentially the jet stream being relegated to the northern United States. We'll talk more about that in just a minute with the Climate Prediction Center outlook. Temperatures the next 5 days, well, guess what? It's going to be hot. Mostly upper 80s to 90s across the state. An unlucky person is going to probably hit 100 degrees at some point over the next few days. And on Thursday, that may be up in northwest Texas or the eastern Texas panhandle. Looking at 97, Vernon, Childress, about 95 in Borger, 92 Amarillo. Guess what? Mid-upper 90s along I-35 all the way down into South Texas. A little cooler in the northwestern panhandle Friday. And we note the higher elevations, the Guadalupe Davis Mounts, not looking too bad, honestly. Highs mostly in the low to mid-80s. I mean, that sure beats 95. It's still hot in El Paso. Sorry, y'all. Saturday, I mean, yeah, we have intermittent, goes up a few degrees, goes down a few degrees. But overall, we're pretty stable here with highs either in the mid to upper 80s, up into the upper 90s. You can get your local weather forecast, by the way, for your specific location, the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. You just got to search for Texas Storm Chasers in your app store, and you can get your personalized forecast there. And here are Sunday's high temperature forecast. Guess what? We're still looking at mostly 80s to 90s across the state, which 90s, mid-upper 90s in October, that's seasonably hot. We're not in July or August anymore. 90s can be, it's pretty stinky hot. Climate Prediction Center precipitation outlook, well, that didn't update. Didn't I just say yesterday maybe I'd actually get these updated before going live? The funny thing is I really did update these. It just didn't save because this program hates me. But the news isn't great if you want rain or cooler weather. Truthfully, the only area with above average precipitation chances besides New England is where we might have future Milton make landfall sometime next week in Florida, southeastern United States. The rest of us, it's dry. It's bone dry. Don't expect that to change anytime soon. And as you might expect with that, it's going to be hot. Summer has returned to the western half of the United States. Fires are back in fashion across portions of California, up into Wyoming, Montana, Idaho. So any sort of cool-off precipitous pattern we had for the final couple weeks of September, that's gone. Equal chance of warm weather across the eastern United States, maybe a little cooler across the mid-Atlantic down towards the Appalachians, which, I mean, is good since they're not going to have power back probably, well, for a long time. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be it for your Texas Weather Roundup on this hump day. As I said earlier, in a well-placed advertisement, promo, whatever you want to call it, I don't really care. We do have our free mobile app. But of course, we appreciate you watching us here on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel. We've been putting these on some of our other social media accounts as well. But as always, you can find this first and foremost here on the Texas Weather Center on YouTube. So hit us up, hit the subscribe button, do whatever you do on YouTube. For me, I think that's just about enough video for today, but we'll be back tomorrow morning bright and early with your next edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Enjoy the quiet weather. Enjoy the fact I'm not having a screamy, doom, spinny, doom. But at the rate we're going precipitation-wise, we might be talking about flaming tumbleweeds again soon. All right, that's enough blobbering out of me. Y'all have a great Wednesday. God bless.